So, food. What we're going to talk about for the next little bit is what should you eat. And if I went around the room, if there were less of you, I would go around the room and I'd say, well, what's healthy or what do you eat? And we all have an opinion, and if you're not suicidal, and so you eat relatively well, you eat as well as you can under the circumstances like all of us, otherwise you wouldn't be here. You'd be at Walgreens with everybody else. I do back checkups from time to time at Walgreens, and people come up to me and what's their number one question? Where's the ibuprofen? And so, because I wear a white coat. So what you're going to see hopefully over the next few minutes, that you, like me, need to make a lifelong study as to what it is that you need to be eating over the rest of your life. Just like I used to say to smokers, they need to quit smoking now. And here's what they would do. I started to tell you, I did acupuncture for quit smoking for many years. And people would be like, I feel okay, Dr. Smith. Why don't you just forget about it? Why don't you mind your own business? Why don't you just forget about it? And it's because we feel well, and you feel well, but lurking, here's the problem with the human body. I'll give you a few problems. One of the problems with the human body is, on the one hand, we specialize in the nervous system because our treatments, those of you who are new to us are not knowing, but our treatments are designed to open up the communication system so that your body can heal itself. So we are nervous system doctors here. But the problem with the nervous system is up to 90% of the nervous system carries function and not pain, function and not pain. The reason that's critical is by the time you feel the cancer, by the time you feel the heart disease, by the time you feel the high blood pressure, by the time you feel the other diseases, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, diabetes, there's so much damage that it's difficult to treat. And medicine is designed to treat the human body. It is not designed to prevent the diseases. To prevent the diseases, you have to do what? You have to talk to us, you have to come here, and you have to do it on your own. Because even though medical doctors are wonderful, they save lives every day, they aren't trained in prevention. They don't even teach nutrition in the medical schools, and I'm not sure they should be. What do you want them learning in the medical schools? You want them learning how to give you the right drug or do the right surgery, because on the other hand, even though they do save lives, the first leading cause of death in the United States is what? Heart disease, by far. The second leading cause of death in the United States is what? Cancer. And what's the third leading cause of death in the United States? You won't guess. Guess anyway.
Like malpractice.
Right. She's right. You will guess. It's on my chart. You see the chart over there? Don't look over there. See the chart? Don't look. See it? Don't. It's called iatrogenic death. It means doctor-induced death. It means 250,000 people die every year because of something that happened from the surgery, the drug, or something that happened in the hospital and such. You with me? So what that means is you want to try to stay out of the hospital if you can. I'm just saying, if you need to go, please go. Don't not go. Dr. Smith said, even though I'm hemorrhaging, I shouldn't be going to 911. Yeah, if you're hemorrhaging, you need 911. Or if you have chest pain or any of those kinds of things. I don't want to get in trouble here. She's videoing this. And do anything your doctor tells, since she's videoing it, do everything your doctor tells you to do. Actually, not always. Here's what you want to do. You want to do some research, because unless it's an emergency, and a lot of times it is. If it's an emergency, just do what they tell you. But if it's not an emergency, if it's elective, then now it's time to do homework. I heard an analogy the other day by a nutrition. He said, would you call a realtor and say, so what house should I buy? Or would you go to a dealership and go, so what car? Give me a car. No, you research it, right? So if you have the kind of medical condition that you can do research and have a discussion with your doctor as what's the best way to go, that's the new way. You with me? Because they love to do what they do. All right, I don't want to talk about that. Those of you who were here years ago may remember that what we were teaching, and Carly's going to come here in a little bit and do some teaching for you. But you shouldn't do what she says. You should do what I say. And don't tell her I said that. This is our new fight. And I'm going to cut to the chase in case she walks in the door. Well, let me just try it. What should we be eating? What should we be eating? Fruits, vegetables, what else?
Real food.
Huh? Real food? What? Yeah, there you go. Okay, class dismissed. But we don't. We don't. So the big dilemma I've been having in my life for the last 2 years is as follows. What I was teaching for us the previous 7 years was eat meat, chicken, eggs, fish, and vegetables. Well, let me just give you some ideas. I wonder how I want to do this. Tell you what not to eat. Plant-based is where I'm going with this. Should we be, yes sir? Yeah, but the question is, what should we eat? An alkalized diet. So when you go to the store, ask the guy behind the counter for some alkalized. Can I have a bucket of alkalized? But thank you. Just I'm also trying to make jokes. Because the thing on the bottom will say what to eat and some jokes. Okay, so the question is meat, chicken, that's the big controversy is should we eat the meat? Should we eat the chicken? And you guys do. You say you don't. Everybody goes, oh, fruits and vegetables. I'll give you an example. I have fruits and vegetables right over there. And you know what you're going to do? You're not going to eat it. Because I've done this before. I put fruits and vegetables and then I put a pizzas next to it. And everybody ate the pizzas. They looked at the vegetables. They go, that was fine. Oh, we're out of food. I'm going to Johnny's frickin' beef. And that was the end of it. And so here's why. We are addicted. Well, why didn't they quit smoking? Are they suicidal? Your friends, some of your friends still smoke. Why are they still smoking? Huh? They're addicted. So let's talk about addiction a little bit because we're all addicts, more or less. Some of us more, and I guess really more are probably not here. But I think we're all addicts. So how does addiction work? There's certain foods that you eat that your body will go, oh, and then it changes its physiology somewhat permanently. So now in your corpus callosum, you have an addictive system set up. What's the most addictive substance to a human being? You won't guess. You won't guess. No, you won't guess, so stop it. It's heroin. It is. This is a joke, but it's the truth. The number one, ask all your heroin addict friends. I've had I hired one once.
I'm not.
Why am I looking at you? Well, she didn't put it on the application form. Just she disappeared and so did the drawer and we found out that. But I didn't think to ask in the interview. So tell me about yourself. Are you a heroin addict? Anyway, so they're not suicidal either. They're just addicted. And without when you stop the addictive substance, it's so painful, you're willing to commit a crime, a felony, murder, homicide against other people, murder yourself. You know, suicide is murdering yourself. How messed up do you have to be to murder yourself? That's one of our challenges, and I don't know why I'm getting off on this. That's one of our challenges with the Chicago Police Department. I don't know if you saw that. We lost one officer a month for 5 months to suicide. And I'm part of that team, which is, I don't know, the last Thursday and Friday of the month, we go to Hartgrove Behavioral Hospital, and we have the police officers there, and it's stress management, and the other officers talk about suicide prevention. And you know what I talk about? I'm glad you asked.
What do you talk about?
I talk about how to use nutrition to get rid of depression, anxiety, bipolar, suicide. Nutrition. See, in that building, it's a Hartgrove Hospital, it's a behavioral building. It's an inpatient facility. So everybody in there is on what? Medication, they call it, because drugs sounds like, I don't do drugs, I just take lots of medications. Well, and I don't take people off of medications because I don't want to go to jail. I like it out here. Even though I do have a plan in case I do go to jail. Want to hear it? So what I would do is I'd figure out, I've thought this through, I think most men have this thought, because our fear as men is we're going to go to jail for something we didn't do. Or something we did do, but you know what I mean. So I find the biggest, baddest guy in there, and I'd adjust him. Become his friend. Right. That's how, why do you think you came here? Because I'm funny? You came here because my adjustments are like, I've adjusted, how many people have I adjusted? 2 million. 100 trillion, billion, quadrillion. No, 32,000, which is still a lot. You've not met 32,000 people. You haven't. I mean, almost nobody does. So I would adjust him, win him over. I don't know why I'm looking at you. You're the biggest guy in the room. But if you and I end up in jail, I'm going to adjust you 3 times a week. And you and I are going to walk around the jail. He's also a wrestler. See? Now you're like, oh, I'm going to be his friend. You either want big guys as friends or police officers. I don't know. Whatever. All right. So, but I think you can handle certain types of depression and anxiety and bipolarism, because that's our fear. You young people, here's what you're worried about. That you're going to have, God forbid, clinical depression. What do us old people fear? We fear Alzheimer's, or a more broad term is dementia. And we all know somebody who's gone through it, and we have a fear of that. And let me just tell you, I'm here to tell you that some of that, part of that, most of that is what we eat. So you better figure it out while you still can figure anything out. Not just you, me. My mom's last years on this earth was dementia up the wazoo. It was her worst nightmare come true. If you'd have interviewed her and said, okay, because she was very lucid. She spoke 4 languages. She really had it together. If you came up to her and said, what would be your worst nightmare? She'd go, well, that I would lose my capacity to take care of myself and be a burden and not be able to. Yep, there you go. That was her last 10 years. I told Carly that happens to me. She's going to put a pillow over my face, but now she's got that pillow all the time. I don't know. I think this is backfiring. So if you don't see me here one day, look in the basement. Look in the basement.
The basement we don't have.
They told you we don't have a basement. We have a basement. All right, I'm getting off topic. So the point of this story is that you need to learn what to eat, and you have to make yourself do it. Here's part of the challenge. Oh, he needs a seat. Look, I think it's funny. But I think a lot of weird things are funny. Whenever I go to the police academy, remember there's hundreds, inevitably there's people out there just, even if it's 40 below zero, it's a drug. It makes you feel good. But so is your food. That's why we want to eat comfort foods. Because it's they go up to the guy who's going to be killed the next day. So what's your last meal? What's your last request? How about a gun? Can I have a gun? All right. So number 1 is heroin. So don't do heroin. Those of you taking notes. Number 2, don't do cocaine. What's number 3? Now you said it. It's sugar. It's sugar. No, fruit is... Who said fruit? So you think fruit's bad? Do you?
Oh, but everybody was yelling sugar, so I might as well switch that.
Well, the controversy is the fruit. One of the controversies is the fruit. I'm here to tell you that the fruit is now back in. Eat the fruit. Yay, right? Okay. Because it's the longest living people on earth. All right, I want to finish. The caffeine's kicking in, can you tell? So sugar, all right, so we said that. So when you stop eating sugar, you go through withdrawal. And what else turns into sugar really quickly? It's processed foods. So the World Health Organization, the United Nations, rates us 42nd. There's 41 places on earth where people are living longer and healthier than in the United States. So we're the sickest people on earth. Now we're starting to live a little longer because the emergency medicine is second to none. That's good. If you're going to have a stroke, God forbid, you're going to get shot, you're going to have a heart attack, you're going to bleed, you're going to have serious diagnoses. But America, we have the greatest, whatever, surgery and drugs, yay. But we're living longer in sickness and disability, which is almost worse. Because what do we want to do? We want to make sure the money doesn't run out. Well, what's the number 1 reason for bankruptcy in the United States, even today? Medical bills. And you don't want to go that route. So here's what you want to do. You want to stay well. Let me know if Carly comes. She looks like Carly. So you want to, as of today, this is a motivational speech. You don't want to, go partying anymore ever again. You're all big boys and girls. No more. When I mean partying, I mean no more mis-eating. Try to make it down to 0 as close as possible. So you probably want to know what to eat, right? Ask me.
What do we eat?
I told you I don't know. But let me tell you, I'm 10,000 hours ahead of you. So try what I say. Now before I do, well, let me just do this. If you have a diagnosis of any kind, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, autoimmune disease, arthritis, a diagnosis, you know what that means? That means something's wrong with you. So here's my recommendation, and I'll hand this out at the break. My new favorite guy in the world is Anthony William. He's medicalmedium.com. We'll hand it out at the end. He's got a website. He's got 4 books. You can buy them, which I recommend if you're a reader. He has 100 hours on the podcasts and the like if you're a listener.
I just downloaded
Did you? So for many people I've worked with, it was life-changing. My main reason why I'm so into Anthony William is my best friend in the world in 2016 was anxious, depressed, insomnia, suicidal. So how'd they keep him from jumping off a bridge? Well, they gave him medicine. So if somebody wants to jump off a bridge, they need to take the medicine. I don't care what the side effects are, because all drugs do have side effects. So then you want to make it a goal that from now on, figure out, like if you have a diagnosis, and I'm not going to point to you, if you have diabetes or high blood pressure, you're taking drugs. Those drugs aren't going to get rid of your disease. Actually, the insulin makes the diabetes worse. And so you go, well, are they trying to kill you? No, they're trying to keep you from dying, but they're not trying to get rid of your disease. You got to figure out how to do that. And mostly you can do it through food. And you got to hit the right food. And the bestest for that is anthonywilliam.com. Now, I got to warn you, he's nuts. Are you going to the bathroom? Just leave the door open so you can hear what I'm saying. No, these are jokes. I do that every time somebody, and they laughed. They're warped. Okay, guys, what do you guys think of her? Is that your mom? What do you think of her? Do you like her? She's awesome?
I have no choice. I have to say that.
I know, these are mostly jokes. She seems pretty awesome, though. So, okay, so will you do that for you or a loved one? I don't care if it's a medical, I don't care what they tell you. Will you check it out, try his system, and see if you're cured? Okay? Tell me you will.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then we're going to talk about it. All right. So what does he mostly tell you to eat? See if you can guess. Fruits and vegetables. Fruits, vegetables, oh, here it is. Fruits, vegetables, herbs and spices, and wild foods. Sounds easy, it's not. Well, look, I had his most potent cure-all is celery juice on an empty stomach every morning, 16 ounces. You love celery juice?
3 times this week.
Well,
Yeah, it was cool.
Well,
I felt the flow at work and everything. It was cool.
Him and Dr. Carly had a good conversation about yesterday, too.
Oh, okay.
Good. It was cool.
All right, I'm proud of you.
Have you tried it?
I did it every single day, 365 days. Well, I did it every single day for 8 months. Didn't miss. When I went out of town, I went up to juice bars and I went, make me some celery juice, because I can give you a course in how to make these people give you celery juice or buy a juicer. Why don't I juice it? Cleaning the juicer is a nightmare. So yeah, I did it every day, and now I've done it about every other day for the last over 2 years. I just had it 2 hours ago. I'll be peeing soon. So, what?
What's the number one thing you know?
I felt much better than I ever have. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of diseases in my family. And if you have diseases in your family, parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, you got the chromosomes, baby. And so what people do is they go, well, I guess I'm just going to have the diabetes. No. You have to turn off those chromosomes, and they're turn-offable. Almost all diabetes is turn-offable, and it's an epidemic. Millions of people, tens of millions, hundreds of millions. Well, what mostly causes type 2 adult onset diabetes? What's the cause? Huh? It's the food. It's the food. In other words, if you change the way you eat, the diabetes, if you eat the way your body wants you to eat, the diabetes should go away. And you should make it a goal, by the way. Because some of the things they say on TV is a lie to sell more drugs. Probably. Like well, I don't know if I can do this. Maybe this is true. Well, I'll just give you allegedly, like high cholesterol causing heart disease. No proof. And all your parents are taking high cholesterol drugs. No proof. And what else is baloney? Oh, high blood pressure. Now, don't get me wrong. If your blood pressure's really high, you've got to take something. But they keep lowering. They did that with cholesterol. Those of you who are middle-aged like me, remember when you used to be 230, then it was 210, now it's 200. Who keeps lowering it? Yeah. It's the number one most profitable drug on earth, the cholesterol-lowering drugs. And I'm not sure. Maybe we should be taking it. I'm not an expert. Is that a disclaimer? Check with your doctor before you change any kind of medicine.
That'll work right there. That'll get you in the legal fire right there.
I know. I almost hate that. I watch a million YouTubes, you know, and every 5 minutes, check with your doctor. Check with you. If I wanted to check with my doctor, I wouldn't be watching this stupid YouTube. So, 20 servings a day of fruits, vegetables, and you just not. Well, here, what do I have today? And this is most days now for over 2 years. This is delicious. You want to sip? No. It's all right. The number one drug on earth. Oh my God, listen to me. Oh, it's wild blueberries. I'll get to it. If I get too off course, I'm just never gonna. All right. So no, the number one healthiest thing I think you can do is celery juice, as I've done. The number two most healthiest thing, and this is a lot more yummier, if that is a term, is wild blueberries.
That's just wild blueberries.
No, I put spinach in there, and I put crappy things, you know, like I put maca. I put, but it's yeah. Where do you get this? And you go to who goes to Costco? All right, so here's what you need to do. Every time you go to Costco, I do a presentation, and if I had time, I'd do it for you now. It's called How to Use Costco to Get Diabetes. The whole back of that store, all those cakes, cookies, candies, cookies, I make a joke. You sell insulin with that. It's absolutely true. Don't be eating that stuff. Or just have a cigarette. Or, do heroin. At least heroin makes you very happy, I've heard. Well, these are jokes. Don't do heroin. So wild blueberries. Now, where else can you get this? Aldi's has it. Jewel has it. Fresh Times. I go to Fresh Times most days. Whole Foods. Now, the problem at Whole Foods is it's expensive. So the way to get it from Whole Foods, now listen, this is going to save you some money. You go where the frozen food section is. You find the wild blueberries, Wyman's wild blueberries. You take it, you put it under your jacket, and you go out of the building. And then if they stop you, how come you didn't laugh at that? That was a joke.
Because you need a bond, too.
I didn't pause. All right, well, let me tell you some other things, because Carly's not here. So, what causes lung cancer? What causes lung cancer? Smoking. So what should you do if you smoke? Stop. Quit. Okay, thank you. Stay with me. This is getting more difficult. So what causes chronic diseases? We call it food is poison. It causes sickness, obesity, it increases your appetite, and you become addicted. Now let's talk about that for a second. We all go to McDonald's, and because it's 2 double cheeseburgers for 99 cents, you can't beat it. So if you only have 7 months left to live, go there every day.
2 double cheeseburgers, 4.
Whatever it is. This is a joke. I don't go there anymore. But if I had 7 months left to live, God forbid, I don't know if I would go there. I might. But here's the point. It causes the reason we're all chunky is we're all addicted. We're all addicted. We're not stupid. We have mirrors in our home. And the food that I'm about to tell you makes you more addicted, almost like heroin, like cocaine. It's more addictive, and it makes you hungrier. You ever notice you eat a double cheeseburger and a french fries and a milkshake, and then 2 hours later you're like, my God, not only am I hungry, I want to go back there. They put chemicals, they're allowed to put chemicals in the food to make you more addicted-er. Just like...
When you're a doctor, you can make up all your own words.
Like, the reason we were mad at the tobacco industry is they lied to us. Because nobody, that's why they lost billions of dollars. It's not because millions of people died. You can't sue people. I smoked your cigarette, I died, so my family's going to sue you. No, you wouldn't even get to court. The reason they gave the millions of dollars is because they lied. They said that well, you remember those commercials? Not to point to you. Well, the commercial, back up until 1968, they came on TV and the doctor in a white coat would say, smoking a Camel, don't listen to those people. There's nothing wrong with this stuff. There's no proof that this stuff, right up to 1960. So they were like, oh, they lied. And so they also put chemicals in the tobacco to make us more addicted. So those guys lost their jobs because half of the country quit smoking. Back in 1968, 52% of the adults smoked. Now it's down to like 23%. So people are quitting smoking. So where did those geniuses with the chemicals go? They didn't quit. They're geniuses who make chemicals to change the way you feel. They joined the food industry. So now the enemy is the tobacco industry. I mean, I don't believe that. Now the enemy is the food and the pharmaceutical and even to some degree the hospital association. Because if we all get well, the hospitals and all those, am I spitting on you?
Yep.
I'm sorry, make believe you're at SeaWorld. That's what you get for sitting that's what you get for sitting in the front. I apologize, I don't think I'm contagious. But a little bit. It's not just that they need money, because I used to think that the MDs were just out to make the money. Because I've had thousands of my patients, thousands, been told by their medical doctors, don't go to those chiropractors. And I'd be like, why would they do that? Do they need the money? And I've been studying these MDs. They don't need the money. They think, because here's what it is. Medical doctors go to college for 20 years to learn which drug you need or which surgery you need. People come to us and we go, well, I don't know if I think it's a good idea to take the drugs or the surgery. They go back, they tell their MD, my chiropractor doesn't think it's a good idea for you and me to take your drugs or have your surgery. They go, well, there's something wrong with that guy. He needs to be eliminated and thrown in jail. They love to do what they do and we love to do what we do. So it's a Cold War, just to know that. And if you're brave, well, then just have it out like you can do it. You can say to your medical doctor anything. But people who are shy and they don't, not high confront. I do when I go to MDs, and I go to MDs, I'm not stupid. I'm 63, but it's almost always, I try not to, but it's almost always an argument thing. Like I go to a cardiologist every year. There's so much heart disease in my family. If you don't see me here next week, you'll know, maybe you should have done and it's always like this. It happened just 2 weeks ago. I don't know, this is funny. Dr. Smith, are you taking the cholesterol-lowering medicine that I prescribed? No, I'm not. Are you taking the high blood pressure pills? Yeah, didn't think so. You're a pain in my butt. Did you take the beta blockers? No, I bet not, huh? You didn't take the beta blockers, did you? How about the aspirin a day? No, huh? Did you do anything I asked? No, nothing. That's how it goes every year. And then he writes in his notes, this is what he did last year. He wrote in his notes, I told him to take it, he wouldn't do it. And this is what he said to me, and I didn't bring this up, and I love this guy. I'm not going to say his name because we're recording. He said to me, so if an attorney looks through my records, I'm going on record by saying, I told you to take it and you refused. Most MDs would dismiss you. And he didn't say this part. Because we have all the patients we need. We don't need you frickin' pain in the butts. So use your medical doctor as a coach. Do a little bit of your own thinking and then make your own decision for you and your children. I'll give you another statement. I wonder if I should record this. Because my 15-year-old has never had an immunization or flu shot or any of that kind of stuff. Is that legal? Not in the good old US of A. Here's another stat. I don't know if I want to give you all this. So you got to figure out what to eat, okay? So what should you eat? You don't know yet. Okay, so let me at least start out by telling you what to stop eating. Stop smoking, okay? Say I will. I know. Us Americans, we're so smug. We don't smoke. Who smokes? Europe. You ever heard of Europeans? How many of them are they? How many Europeans are there? Lots. And do they smoke? Yes. Who lives longer, Americans or the smoking Europeans? Well, why would that be? God likes them better? They eat better. 143 of our foods that they sell at Jewel is illegal in Europe. They stop them at the port with a flashlight. Silly Americans, we know that you bring that food onto our country here. Bring it back to America for you stop at Americans. All right, here's another statement. No, let me finish this. So what causes the diseases? Unfavorable carbohydrates. That's all refined packaged foods. Number one culprit, I don't know if sugar is number one culprit anymore. It could be. Sugar could be the number one culprit. The other thing that could be the number one culprit is unhealthy fats. I think that's becoming the problem again, which really makes me mad. You know what I'm saying? No more bacon. Oh, don't listen, don't listen. But I'm going to need you in a little bit, please. All right. Sugar. Now, what turns into sugar? Wheat, grains. See, I don't believe this anymore. Gluten. Gluten's bad for most people. It says glutton. I don't care what it says.
Gluttony is bad for you. Maybe that's what they say.
The first one is gut, and they just say blood.
I'm not a
You're glutton.
It's a typo. We're all gluttons. All right, so I don't teach this anymore. High fructose corn syrup is still bad. Soda pop is still bad. But I do no calorie, you know what I mean? Yeah, what's that cause? Cancer, what else does it cause? Huh? Whatever it is, it's sweet and it doesn't have any calories, you should be suspicious.
Exactly.
Yeah, if I were going to drink soda, which I don't, I'm blessed. I'm cursed and I'm blessed. Like all of us, you know. Like how many of you love to eat broccoli?
With cheese.
See? Did you say with cheese?
Yeah.
And, all right. I don't know what to say. Soda pop's bad. Donuts are bad. Bread, I don't know. Bread's controversial. Rice is controversial. Pasta's controversial. Cereal's controversial. Now, Carly would say, no, bagels. I went 6 years without a bagel.
Yeah, I've been going for a long time.
Wait a minute. I don't believe that anymore. Now I'm eating bagels. Carly thinks it's because I'm ready to die. I'm not. I just don't believe the bagels are as eat. Huh? What? So just say that louder. Asians eat a lot of rice. How many Asians are there? Somewhere between a lot and a hell of a lot. And are they sick like we are?
No.
Yeah. No, they've been eating rice and vegetables for tens of thousands of years, and they're thin and little and less diseases. So because you're Puerto Rican, right? You're Mexican? Did you used to be Puerto Rican? I used to tell my Hispanic patients, don't eat the tortillas, don't eat the rice. But now I'm not so sure. Even when I go to Chipotle's, I say, I'm not going to eat rice. Because we were afraid of carbs here for 5 years. Well, here's what happened here. We came here about 8 years ago, and we all went low carb, paleo,